Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Neil Haley Show. Again, you can go to my website, totaltutor.net, for more information. Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, LinkedIn, Neil Haley, Instagram, Total Tutor, Pinterest, Neil Haley, and Google Plus, Neil Haley. And we continue to have such great guests. Another great show, and I love the National Publicity Summit, and I've been working with them, and my producer Dee Dee Rittman has found some fantastic guests that'll be on in the next couple weeks. So I'm excited to welcome to the program Nanette Nocon, author of the Yum and Yuck series. Nanette, how are you, and thanks for calling.
Oh, I'm well. Thank you so much, Neil. I appreciate you including me in the show today.
Oh, I'm excited to talk to you, and we can kind of go into, again, this TV/radio interview. And let's kind of break down specifically how you came up with Yum and Yuck. Tell us a little about that.
You know, a few years ago, in 2009, there was a 16-year-old girl who shot another girl in the city here in Rochester, New York. And it bothered me that that happened. And so I kept thinking about it, and I thought that the reason why she did that is she wasn't thinking about her choices, that she had a gun and chose to use the gun. She could have stopped in many of those times that she was, before she shot the other girl, to think about the choice she's making. And then it occurred to me that maybe she didn't have an adult in her life to help her think through her choices. And so I started thinking about art as a way to demonstrate to and remind the children that we have a choice, that we always have a choice, that if we're about to do something that's not right, we have to think about it. If we're about to do something right, we need to think about the best options that we have with our choices.
Definitely, and I think it's a situation where when we make this look at things in life, and when we are mulling over things in so many ways, our prior circumstances are things that we've done before, always are the reasons why we make these choices, correct? It's like
Sure.
we're mulling over things because of our prior experience or our family life or our circumstances, correct?
That's right, and sometimes it's just what's happening, and we go with the flow. You know what I mean? It's like we don't stop and think. It's like, okay, everybody's going that direction. I might as well go in that direction too. Or don't even think about it. You just kind of impulse doing it. But you're absolutely right. Family circumstances or the lack of structure to think about the choices. And I love the way that art can help a child reflect on that, or even an adult, to be honest, to just think about, look at the art and say, oh, what is it trying to tell me? And it's non-threatening in its message.
So what do you think is the reason the kids, what are they lacking in a lot of ways when they make, or as adults, make these wrong decisions?
I think, number one, they don't have guidance, so there's no one to tell them to stop and think about why they would make a choice. I think we have a primitive instinct among us to just do what we feel like doing, but unless there is some sort of guidance when we're children, we actually just let that primitive instinct carry us through the decision-making process. But if we have some guidance, then we stop and think about it and reflect on that. And maybe we don't consciously remember it, but subconsciously
Right.
it was one part of our learning process. So I think it's just that it's our primitive way. So,
Yeah, definitely.
and
But based on your one of the books is an alphabet book on character values. And why do you think character is so important? I'm sure you use it in your daily life for your success in your life. Why is character so important to have character?
I think that to have character and it helps us increase the success and happiness in our lives. So that if we have a solid set of character values, that it is easier to maneuver around life. So for example, part of my characters that I use is B is for bravery. It's
Yes.
doing something because it's right, even when we're afraid to. And my illustration is about Yum going to the dentist. For a lot of children, going to the dentist can be a frightening thing, but it's being brave because good dental care is very important. So even manners. Some of the characters that I use, character values that I use here are sort of lost. Manners is not really easy, is not discussed that much. Today, it's pretty much, this is what I want to
Yeah.
do, and I do it. So, like manners, behaving in a way that makes those around us more comfortable. So just defining some of these character values, and some of them old-fashioned in that they're not discussed. I remember growing up, and being told by my parents and grandparents that, these are things that you need to make sure you exhibit or learn, like patience.
Yeah, definitely. And then when I think about this in so many ways, each character can be almost a lesson plan for a teacher. That if they brought some of these alpha book character values into a school, they could use something like caring and teach that and help in the process of being more caring in the class. The kids learning to be care for others more in the classroom, for sure.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it makes for a nice lesson plan because each of the drawings have even the corresponding items that begin with that letter. So, and the illustrations are beautiful. I wish I could show them through the radio, but of course that's hard to do.
Oh no, well, you can show it on the TV. As I have one of your one sheets, and then we can show some of the great drawings. So it's very very nice and very creative, and it's going to make kids really want to have that wow factor and say, okay, cool, I'm going to pick this up, and I'm willing to go through the pages, right? Because the illustrations are beautiful.
Right, that's right. One of the cool things that I do with these books, is that the reason why I do it is I give away a book for everyone that I've sold. And that's the real reason why I did it, because I wanted to give away books for children who can't afford them. And so when I give away these books, the children create a library of books. And I think that that's so cool for a child to have a collection of books. And so I've been giving away books. I've given about 1,600 books in the last
Fantastic.
few years. Yeah, and it's just, they become, in the book that is called What's Up with Yuck, it's wordless. So they become a storyteller. So, and they come up with stories about what Yum and Yuck are doing and thinking about what they're doing. In the alphabet book, they are readers because they read about it and they look at the number of values
Right.
that are in there and hopefully be able to instill that in their own situation. And then the counting book allows them to learn about different languages. I have 12 different languages
Oh
in there,
wow.
learning 1 to 12 and 12 languages. So it's the 11 most spoken languages in the world, and I ended it with Tagalog, which is my native tongue. I'm from the Philippines. So luckily, in the top 11, it ends with Spanish. So then I could just easily put Tagalog after Spanish, which is nice.
So what's interesting is you have so many opportunities, and so giving away the 1,500 books, has it been more in your area? You're hoping to give it to more people across the country and get the word out to kids that can't afford these books, for sure?
Yes, that's my objective. I want to be able to sell as many books as I can and get them to the hands of children. The response from the children has been wonderful, actually mostly from the parents, in telling me about their children's behavior. Instead of saying, hey, that's not a good thing to do, it's like, is that yum or is that yuck? And the kids are able to talk about, what they're doing and if they want to be yum or yuck. I have lots of pictures that the kids have drawn about yum and yuck. I have compendiums from classrooms where the teachers have asked them to write stories about yum and yuck. So it really goes through many different exercises to help the kids use yum and yuck as a tool to think about their behavior and the choices that they make.
And that's so important with kids for those choices, to make sure that they make the right decisions, especially when it comes to education. Interesting story. I work with certain kids that don't value education as it's important. Athletics is more important, and I try to preach that even if you're going to be in the NFL someday, that you have to develop that education. You have to have the academics, because your sports career is going to be short. Then what are you going to do in the rest of your life if you don't get educated and learn life and the decision-making process? Isn't that correct?
Yes, totally. I'm so with you. I think that, I like Norman Cousins' quote on that. It's the purpose of education is learning how to learn. So even if what we're learning at the moment doesn't appear as useful, it's the fact that we've learned how to learn and use it later on, maybe after the football career, that what we've learned in the process before is useful.
Have you been able to get to visit schools and share your books with schools?
Yes. Actually, I've been doing that, and it's a lot of fun. So the books that I give away, I actually sign it to the children's name, dedicated to them with my signature, and they're very excited to meet an author and excited about having a book they can take home. And I have had many classrooms write stories. I have a compilation of many of the stories. So these kids are authors because, if you write a beginning sentence, a middle, and end, you're an author, right? You've written something. So it's been fun. I also this summer there's a national program called Horizons. It's a program for city kids, and they come to either a college or a high school or some other location. And it's been fantastic because I give books away there, and they write stories about it, and I get to meet the kids at the beginning of the program. It's very nice.
Oh, absolutely. And what has been the response of the kids with the books, especially the ones where they can make up their own stories and stuff? How do they like it?
Oh, it's so much fun. Actually, sometimes I go and the one kid starts telling a story and says, don't, because I want to make up my own, so be quiet. So, and the drawings are so much fun that they're so grateful. Some kids say, can you autograph my shoes? I'm like, no, I can't autograph your shoes. Your sneakers should be kept clean. And then the bunch of kids will say, oh, yeah, she really likes it. It's a good idea. And so I get the permission from the teacher, and I sign the shoes. Sign it instead of sign the shoes. But throughout the summer, in the summer programs, they talk about what is the yum thing to do when waiting in line,
right.
And so they demonstrate, well, which one do you like better, yum or yuck? Or are you going to be yum or yuck today? And it's just fun because everybody understands what yum and yuck is, especially kids, right?
Yeah, exactly. So where is the best place we can find information on you, learn more about your books and everything you do? Where's the best place we can go?
My website, which is whatsupwithyuck.com, and yuck is spelled Y-U-K, so whatsupwithyuck.com.
Well, fantastic, and I hope that you get the books out all over the world, especially with our audience, so kids can really learn those character values, those important things that will help them through life so that they make the right decisions. So best of luck to you, and thanks for calling, okay?
Thank you so much, Neil, and thanks, Didi. Appreciate it.
All right, take care. Thanks again. Okay, bye-bye. You're watching the Neil Haley Show. And remember to go to my website, totaltutor.net, for more information. Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, LinkedIn, Neil Haley, Instagram, Total Tutor, Pinterest, and Google+. And be part of the conversation, hashtag Neil Haley Show, and also hashtag, Total Education Network. Any of the different ways we can get involved. And let's chat, let's talk, and what guests you want to see on the program for sure. And we're going to have another great, exciting guest, a lot of education themes the first couple of weeks, but we'll be getting into some interesting celebrities in the next couple as well. We'll be back in just a moment with more great talk. We're back to the Neil Haley Show. A great conversation about character for sure, and learning about character building and the great character traits. And this is just a fantastic book as well. And I'm really excited to welcome the program Robyn Schneider, author of Silent Running, Our Family's Journey to the Finish Line with Autism. Robyn, thanks for calling. And again, interesting Triumph Books. I've been partnering with them a lot of sports things. But Robyn, you'll find out very soon that I have extensive knowledge with autism as an educational advocate. So Robyn, thanks for calling.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so it's a situation. I've interviewed a lot of people. I love Triumph Books, and when I heard about this book, I said I have to definitely interview you, and the whole journey, especially, and for our listeners out there, the story for sure, Robyn. So tell us specifically why you wrote the book.
Why I wrote the book? Well, I have identical twin sons with autism, and they're very severe on the spectrum. They're 24 years old right now. and I decided that I wanted to write the book, honestly, for selfish reasons. I really wanted to leave a legacy for my sons because, it's something that I felt was really important for me personally. But I also know that because of their abilities, among their disability, their severe disability with autism, they do have wonderful abilities to run.
Right.
And I know that their running has really inspired many people, not just parents with children with other children with autism and other developmental disabilities, but really anybody who has faced adversity in their lives. So just the fact that we've gone through this journey and they've come so far, even with their severity of their symptoms, I wanted to really get that story out there.
Well, definitely, and I think for the people that don't understand, especially when you're dealing with severe autism, the battles that you had to go through your whole life raising these two, and to the point to have such a tremendous outcome with running, and especially with you never knew when they were born and all the therapy you went through and different schooling, that you could get them to this point in life for sure. It just must be it must be a tremendous story for readers to read, and also for you to tell for sure.
Yes, thank you so much. I hope so.
So kind of tell us specifically when we were looking at the specific thing about the finish line with autism, the battles and struggles you had to go through. Again, I know sounds like you're located in the state of New York. Western Pennsylvania has a tremendous therapy that's no cost to families, and from early intervention services all the way up to therapeutic support staff and behavior specialist stuff for children with autism in the Pittsburgh area. But what types of struggles and things did you go through on that basis?
Sure. Well, my sons were diagnosed when they were 21 months old.
Okay.
And at that point in time, I had read a book that called, I read a book that really just illustrated ABA, which is the evidence-based intervention
Yes.
for children with autism. Let me hear your voice. I'm sorry, through my mind. And through that book, I felt like that was the path I wanted to follow, because I was looking for a cure for my sons.
Yes.
There wasn't a lot out there at that time. This was 1990.
Yes.
And there was no internet. There was no, there weren't any chat rooms. Autism Speaks wasn't around. So there really wasn't a lot out there in terms of resources. And so we found ABA. I wanted to follow that path. But when the boys were and we developed a home program. We had staff at 40 hours a week, and my home was turned into an ABA lab.
Okay.
And shortly thereafter, we became founding parents of the Genesis School, which is also based on the principles of applied behavior analysis.
Oh, okay.
And so, yes, my sons were two of the first two to enter the school at 5 years old. And what happened after that, they acquired skills rather rapidly. However, they started having some behaviors that were just emerging. One of my sons, Alex, developed pica, which is eating inedible objects.
Oh my.
He was snapping his wrists. He became aggressive. My son Jamie started having very loud vocalizations, and he was bending his fingers and tearing things, and so at that point we realized that there were other issues involved, and that cure was not really in the picture for us. So I really changed gears at that point and sought for happiness for them. I really just wanted to see what was really going to make them happy. And, along with the academics, we really focused on a lot of recreational activities and adaptive daily skills and things that were really functional for them and enjoyable for them. And so we enrolled them, and they were very, very energetic, both of my sons at that time, and still are. So we enrolled them in all sorts of activities: gymnastics, karate, swimming, horseback riding. And then finally, when they were about 15 years old, we discovered running, and it just took off on its own. It's just been a wonderful new world for both them as well as my husband and myself. So, you know, it's really become the focus of our lives at this point.
And that's the triumph that you want to tell families that are dealing with such struggles with severely autistic children to adulthood, that you have to find something that they truly love and go for it. Look for their happiness. Go ahead, continue.
Exactly.
Robyn, yeah.
It might not be running. It's just, you know, my feeling at that point was, because my sons are nonverbal, they weren't able to tell me. I mean, they still can't tell me if they're thirsty or hungry, if they're hurt. And they're very obsessive compulsive. They have high anxiety, and they have all their lives. But the one thing that I felt was really important, because of all that, because they were not able to tell me these things, I really just had to experiment and see what are the things that they enjoy doing, what are they good at, what seems to make them happy, and just really go full force ahead in developing any of those skills and just giving them a quality life. And you know, at the end of the day, we're still dealing with all these same behaviors.
Exactly.
And there really isn't that much attention placed on individuals with autism who are very severe on the spectrum.
No, not at all.
But there is a better, you know, another side to it, and those are the things that I think, you know, parents, you know, they shouldn't lose sight of, that there are things that, you know, if you keep looking, keep exploring, that perhaps you will find something.
So thinking about when you talk about severely autistic, and a lot of them end up sometimes institutionalized if things go really wrong. How did you overcome a lot of those things? Because you talked about the aggressiveness, you talked about some of the really difficult challenges you were facing, and you said, well, I just want them to be happy. I want to get to the running thing a little bit more, but people will definitely have to go ahead and check out the book. But I think it's a tremendous story for families not to give up, especially when you're talking about severely autistic. So what were you able to do to lead them this path and find this path of running? I mean, like, I guess just so the relationship, keep them going and keep them have something to do for life and be happy. What things did you do once you made your switch after you saw this is where we're going?
Right. Well, you know, all along the way, you know, the program that they have been involved in, and the Genesis School, and, you know, ABA, and it's really a matter of surrounding myself with people who knew what they were doing, you know, people who are trained, who have the background and experience working with individuals with severe behaviors, and always kind of staying one step ahead of, you know, of their behaviors, and trying to find things to divert them and to divert some of the anxiety and some of the inappropriate behaviors into something more positive. For instance, my son Alex, who's very, very, very fast. He's actually become a very competitive runner, even though he doesn't. Both of the boys, when they get on the starting line of a race, they have no idea if they're running a 5K or a marathon.
Okay.
You know, they really don't know. They don't have the anxiety at that point of other runners where they're checking their watches and, you know, concentrating on what pace they're going to be running. They really have no idea. They're running with somebody who's trained, who is able to guide them. Obviously, they cannot be alone, so they're running with guides, and they're actually pacing each of them, and you know they're the ones with the plan, and my sons are just going along with all of that. But what happened was we found a running club that paired individuals with disabilities, various developmental disabilities, with people who volunteer their time, who are runners, and they pair them together, and they work together. They train together, they practice together, they run races together, and so that's really how we got into running. We got involved with the club, and my son Alex in particular, because he was so fast, we had the added challenge of having to find one of the volunteers who was actually fast enough to run with him.
Oh, wow.
Because he was kind of all over the place. And we found somebody, and he kind of, thought of him as sort of this wild colt. And because of his obsessive compulsiveness, it really got channeled in a positive direction, because he obsessively just wanted to get to the finish line. So he wanted to run as fast as he could to get there. And so it really had turned around, and we sort of used some of their inappropriate behaviors and channel them into more appropriate behaviors in this, scenario in terms of the whole running arena.
Well,
and since then, they've run in, the New York City Marathon, the
awesome.
Boston Marathon, 11 marathons, and my son Alex has done an ultra marathon, and his best time is at 3:14. I mean, he's really
that's tremendous story.
Like a real passion for him. And my son Jamie loves running too, but he's more of the social runner. He likes to run with an iPod and stop at the water stops and shake hands with people.
Shows how kids are different for sure. Where's the best place we can find information on you, Robyn? I'm going to reach out to you for sure, and Triumph Books to have you back on to talk more of the whole story, especially because for my education programs as well, and to kind of break down autism, especially for severely autistic, and give parents hope, because I do work with one that's very challenging for the parents, and I've seen ones that are just terrible stories, and this is a story of hope. I hope it's a movie someday for sure. But where's the best place we can find information?
2 websites, www.autismrunners.com.
Okay.
And also Robyn, ROBYN, K Schneider, SCHNEIDER.com.
All right. Well, fantastic. Best of luck to you, and good luck to you with the book and the success and the tremendous story. You definitely have to pitch this as a movie. I'm telling you. So good talking to you.
Thank you, Neil.
All right. Take care. Thanks. Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was, again, the Neil Haley Show. Fantastic show. Go to my website, totaltutor.net, for more information. Twitter, Total Tutor Neil S. Haley. Facebook. Have a great week, and we're going to talk next week with some more great show, TV, radio, all the fun types of things there. Have a great week, and we'll talk next week. Good day, everyone.